I'm going to keep this review spoiler free. So, I went to go watch Cocaine Bear, directed by Elizabeth Banks. And I didn't even realize it was directed by her until I was in the movie theater. And honestly, I didn't even know Elizabeth Banks directed movies. And maybe she shouldn't again. Because Cocaine Bear was terrible. I think it's supposed to be a comedy, but I only laughed a few times and it wasn't like a laugh. I chuckled a couple of times. And I think that is the worst type of movie. Comedies that are boring. Yeah, a movie called Cocaine Bear was boring. Every single joke, I feel, had the potential to be funny if they would have got somebody to come in and kind of rework it a little bit. I think they needed to have a different comedy writer come in and just tweak these jokes and just work on the timing of them. And also, I don't find just loud noises and screaming to be good punchlines. I just don't find that funny. And the sound mixing, I think, was off because some things were just way too loud. But I'm not sure if they did that on purpose because maybe the filmmakers find loud noises funny or if it's just not mixed properly. I don't know. Just the editing in this movie was way off. The pacing was bizarre. All the acting was okay. It has some talented people in it, like Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Isaiah Whitlock, and Ray Liotta. Also the dude that was Han Solo. He had maybe the worst character. Alden Ehrenreich, that's his name. He was fine, but his character was just bad. And Ray Liotta, it's a shame this was his last movie. It's definitely the worst Ray Liotta cocaine movie, that's for sure. All the acting was fine for what they had to do. I think the problem here was the writing, the directing, and the editing, which is pretty bad, right? I think the only good thing about the movie was it did have some okay gore effects. The special effects for the bear were also surprisingly good, because it's a CGI bear, of course. But there's not enough gore in this movie to even make it fun for people that just like gory movies. And all of it kind of happens in the first half anyway. The second half is just really awful. And also, I want to mention the music. The music is as generic as it gets because this movie takes place in the 80s. So of course, what do? They use a bunch of 80s synthwave style music that does not fit at all with the visuals because it takes place in the woods. And even the way the characters are dressed and act don't even seem like 80s characters. And of course, they use the song White Lines. It just seems like the very first thing that comes to your mind, right? Just very uncreative all around. I do not recommend this movie at all. It's not even a so bad it's good movie, it's just a boring movie. I wasn't expecting this to be a masterpiece, but I did expect it to be fun. Something that you can watch with friends and laugh at, because it's just silly, right? But it fails at being a comedy, it fails at being an ultra gory movie, and it just fails at being entertaining. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it a 3. Because at least it was in focus. And it does have a couple of gory kills. And the bear effect at least is decent. But I can't give it more than a 3 out of 10 and I don't recommend it. But if you're curious about it, I would definitely wait for streaming. It'll probably be streaming in 3 months. I recommend you don't go waste your money on this movie.